What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about 14 different altcoins. That is Rafiki. He's just chilling right there, and we are chilling in our chairs or in our beds or on our morning jogs, whatever it is that you guys are doing. I hope you're doing well. Let me know in the comments what it is. What's your routine, man? Do you like to listen to these whenever you're making breakfast in the mornings? Is it your good night routine? Do you not make a routine out of this at all and you're new? And in which case, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It really does help out you guys. Talking about 14 different altcoins today. We're going to be going over Velo first for Daniel Bandini and also WTK at the same requester. PYI and QRL for Mr. M Hat himself. ICP for John Speed. Manta for Elijah Went Up. ACH for 180 Ahmed. Zen and KSM for Amar Zeev. Morosnet and AKT for I Am a Royster. XTZ for Keltinger. I think you requested this one, Keltinger. Most of the time when people leave that kind of comment, I don't add it to the request because I don't know if they're just giving it a shout out. But you've commented enough that I feel like I understand when you are making a request. So I'm going with it as a request. Polka Starter for Hoshi and CKB for Helios Hyperion or Hyperion, whatever. It's a cool name. Helios Hyperion wins just on the name itself, man. He's got the best name in the. I don't know. I Am a Royster is also pretty. You guys all have great names. Okay, I'm not trying to belittle anybody, but you gotta admit Helios Hyperion is a pretty cool name. I don't know. Anyways, guys. Let's get into this. If you haven't hit that like button again, please definitely do that. I very much do appreciate it, and I'm not going to beg anymore. So let's get into this. So this is the right Velo. Apparently, I did the wrong one last time, but we're gonna do the right one this time. Looking at the weekly RSI, I don't know what to think of it. It could come down a little bit and still look fine, but all in all, I do like it. I do think that it's showing strength and it is looking healthy. I wouldn't think that you go too much lower than you are now, holding this nice trajectory of higher lows and stuff like that. You could go below this week's previous low, but I very much doubt you'd go below this low or even below this closing low price here. So you could go lower. It is on the table. It's a possibility. We still have a lot of time left in this week too. Essentially 6 days left. The daily RSI is starting to look weak, but today, I guess yesterday we did close above the 50. So today, right now, we are below the 50, but we're down. Okay, 9%. Yeah, that's pretty solid so far. Let's see, man. Let's just see how the day closes because something like this, it's probably a very low cap coin. Let's see. Velo, yeah, 41 million. You never know, man. A 9% day, it's big no matter what market cap. You never want to be down 9%. You'd rather be up 9% than down 9%, sure. But for something this low of a market cap, it could finish the day 20% in the green. You never know. Not that I'm calling for that. I just would like to see this day close before I'm making any estimates because it looks like as soon as you go down, you're going up. As soon as you get a bullish candle, you go down. So looks like you're just teasing. You're messing around. The 4-hour isn't giving me much. The daily isn't giving me much. At this point, based on the price, I would kind of expect a bounce from here, actually. 1 hour looks a bit bearish, but you're in bounce territory for sure. So I would like to see how this day closes because you're in this kind of consolidation phase, like right up here. Right? I don't know what to make out of it. It's some kind of consolidation formation. When you break this or this, it's, I guess, kind of like a symmetrical triangle, but I wouldn't call it that, but somewhat kind of like that. Whenever you break it to the upside or downside, that'll be your prevailing heading for the more momentary time frame. So if you do close today like this or potentially even a little bit lower, I would think that you're probably making a move down to about 0.0046. If you can manage to hold here, you're getting so close. I think another move up here would result into something that would take you above this high here. But for now, let's just see. Maybe request this one again tomorrow. Let's check back with it because I'm not getting too much off the daily and the 4-hour. As of right now, they look like they want to go lower, but the 4-hour can change throughout the day, and the day definitely, you've got essentially a full day left. So the 1 hour is, you're right at an area where I wouldn't be surprised if you bounced. I really wouldn't be surprised if you bounced right off the oversold zone, but you might go lower. I don't know. I stand by it. Let's wait to see how the day closes because if the day does close around here or a little bit lower would be the preference. I would think then you do stand to go to about 0.0047 to 0.0044 or 45, something like that. Yeah. in that range. That's Fellow. Spent a little bit of time talking about that one, but it's a lot of these cryptos right now, you guys, they're in kind of like I keep saying critical points, but they're at points where they could really start a more progressive move to the downside, or they've found their relative lows and they're looking like they want to resume the upside again. So it's kind of a wait and see for a lot of these things right now. WTK having a very bearish start to this day, but came back up already quite fast. This is what I mean, man. Low cap coins like this, you can start the day down 22% and come back up only down 4% on the day so far. It's kind of weird that it says 5%. Let me see. Oh, it's because of there's a gap. That's why. Still, though, that's a pretty impressive move down with getting swallowed back up as well. Not a lot of volume. Bullish divergence. Double bullish divergence, I think. Let's see. Yeah. Yep, that's double bullish divergence. You could move a little bit lower. You could have one more drive to the downside, but I don't think you'll go below this low. I think you probably will go below this low here, so you will go below 2.78 cents. You're at 2.84 cents now, so you'll probably go a little bit lower. If it respects this relative fib, which it might not, but I would look for prices anywhere from around 2.7 cents to 2.5 cents, somewhere in that area. That would make sense to me. It probably does not go below this low. As much as a double bottom might occur, but I don't think that you're going to see sustained prices below here. I think you're ready to move up again is what it looks like, but you just might, for the time being, you might consolidate in this area a little bit longer, a day or two, maybe just the rest of today, who knows. But yeah, I mean, just like this here, right? You had a very long wait to the downside. Were you done? Were you ready to go back up? No, not yet. You still went down over the prevailing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days before you found your low, and then you moved up, found another low. You consolidated for a bit. Inevitably, you did go lower, only to kind of relatively, I guess, bottom out through here. But I don't think you're going to see this same formation, because if we zoom out, looking at WTK, you are kind of at the bottom of this ascending trend line here that you have. And I would think that you just found support. I would think you're working your way back up. But that doesn't mean you're doing it immediately. And when I say back up, I would think that you're going to see prices go to 6.6 cents to 9 cents, somewhere in that area. That's what I'm expecting. Yeah. I'm surprised that you actually fell this far back, but seeing that you're closing above the 382 last week and you're so far holding above the 236, you had a little flash dump down there, but that's okay. As long as you're not closing below the 236, I'm very confident that you will maintain this structure of an ascending trend line here. You do have some kind of a tightening wedge going on. For a while I thought it was a channel. I still kind of think it might be a channel, but with what it looks like right now, let's see. Something that's a little bit tighter fit like that, maybe. It does look like a condensing wedge of sorts, but maybe it is a channel. Maybe it just didn't respect the upper limits of this line. Maybe it doesn't go back that far. Maybe I have it drawn wrong. I don't know, but maybe it is more of a parallel channel. But nonetheless, regardless of the pattern, you are at the bottom of it, where I would expect you to bounce and go higher, likely higher than this high. Again, here from this relative high to low, that'd be at 5.4 cents to 6.8 cents for the expected extensions. Off of this high to low, I know that there's a lot going on in the chart right now, guys, but I mean, this 1272 here comes up to this more relative 1618. So that 6.6 to 6.8 cent area looking really friendly for sure. If not potentially higher than that. You could go again as high as 9 cents, but does that mean it's going to happen immediately? I don't think so. I just think you're not going to go lower than that low. That's WTK. I hope that helps. PYI, talking about this one a lot lately, but I think it's been doing crazy things, right? That's what you were saying. It had a nice pump today. Yeah, hell of a pump. Good job. 85%, bro. Good job. You held the 1618. Love to see it. Positive reaction afterwards. I forget if I was bullish or bearish on this one, man. I don't remember. I feel like I was bearish, but maybe I was bullish. I feel like looking at this 618 being held, that's a really nice look. I probably said if we get back above the 886, you'd be looking to go here or to the 2618, but you went way higher than that, bro. You went all the way up to your 2886. Finding support on the 2618, you're asking where a good buy entry is. That's hard to say, especially after a pump like yesterday where you had 85.8%. You do have bearish divergence presenting itself, though it's not printed until we have today close red. We have 20 hours left in the day, so if today closes red, you will have bearish divergence. I would assume that you would probably come all the way back down to this 1886. That is on the table. But if you continue to close today green, man, I mean, that's a nice, you've been working your way up these fibs, right? Broke above the 618 here, found support on it. Then you went all the way up to your 1618, broke above it, found support on that. Your golden, from golden ratio to golden extension, you found support. Now you're at your double golden extension at the 2618, looking like you're finding support on it. It's very early. It's too early to say, but this might be a good buying opportunity if it were to continue going higher. I don't think it's a good buying opportunity. It's never a good buying opportunity to chase something, especially something that pumped 85% yesterday. But that is pretty tremendous volume. And you are showing strength in the RSI. Yes, you have bearish divergence presenting itself, but let's just see. Let's look at the 4-hour. I don't know, man. I'm kind of convinced that today might flip and you'll go green. If not, if I'm wrong, if you're red today, if you close today red, I would expect prices as low as 7.7 cents. If not, potentially you hold 9.6 cents. But as far as divergence goes, I would think if you were to hold 9.6 cents, you would at least wick down to like 8.6 cents, 8.7 cents first, but also putting that 7.7 cent area on the maps as well. If you close today red, okay? As of right now, it looks like you would do that, right? It's got the right formation, but the day it's too new of a day. We don't know where we're going to be at the end of the day. We really could be making a move all the way up to 20 cents. Here you are at 12.6 cents. So, as sad as it is, if you're looking for an entry point to get into something like this, you might have to wait. If I was trying to buy this myself, how I would go about it is I wouldn't be buying here. Though I kind of do expect you're going to go higher, I wouldn't buy here because in case you do close today red, in case you don't, okay, cool, you can buy down here. But in case I'm wrong and it does go up and I didn't buy here, okay, boo-hoo, whatever, it probably tops off here, pulls back to this same area, and then you can more confidently buy on the pullback. That's how I like to look at it because you are very overbought. Even if you continue to grow and you get rid of this bearish divergence, you don't need bearish divergence to top out. You can top out at a 90 something. That's a very strong signal in itself. If you're overbought and you're in the 90s, man, and moving up to here would definitely do that. That's a sell signal in itself, or like a caution signal at least. Who knows how long you'll be in this overbought zone. But at the moment, with how the 4-hour looks, with this bounce off the 50 area, you kind of actually even had almost like an inverse head and shoulders on your RSI, and then this very strong move up to your 90s. You might close this 4-hour red, maybe even the next one, but I would expect to bounce around here. I think you are continuing going higher. And beyond the RSI, you've got this volume that looks like a breakout candle to me, breakout move. If we take the relative low to the relative high, I'm going to get rid of these fibs now so it's easier on your guys' eyes. Maybe you do go as low as about 10.6 cents before continuing higher, but who knows? That might have been it, man. It's kind of hard to say. I stand by what I was saying initially. Let's wait and see how the day closes, and maybe I'm drawing the wrong fib. I don't know. Anyways, let's wait and see how the day closes. I have a funny feeling that you will continue going higher rather immediately. But if we close red, then yes, you'll probably come back down to this high, and that'd be a prime buying opportunity, probably, hopefully, likely. None of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but let's just imagine you pulled back real quick before we move on to this area, okay? And you've got these higher lows kind of coming in, or maybe it's more like this. I don't know. Like that kind of makes sense to me. I don't know. Anyways. If you were to close red. Right now I'm kind of leaning toward it looks bearish, but by the end of the day you might actually close this green and get rid of this bearish divergence, but that remains to be seen. Let's talk about it again tomorrow, Amhad. It's a daily one apparently. QRL, quantum resistant ledger. You want it on MEXC and on crypto. I'm probably going to do crypto first and then MEXC. I want to look at it for what it's worth here. It's got more historical data than I was expecting. But it hasn't done much in its time. I feel like it's a fairly easy one, man. It's at relative areas of resistance. I have no reason to believe that you're going to go back up to these prices at all. I think you're going to come down from here. You could go back to these areas, but with how resilient you are, like to the downside, it looks like you want to maintain prices to the low side. You're only up at these high areas briefly, and then you move down and hang out down at these levels. I would think you do pull back at some point. You're at 35, 36 cents. You probably pull back to 22 cents soon, like over the coming weeks. 20 cents, 16 cents, 25 cents, somewhere in that area. And then continue to move up from there. In the meantime, sure, you could continue to go higher first, but probably not by much, man. QRL, if we look at it on MEXC, you know, on MEXC, just for what this looks like in itself, I would think it almost kind of looks good. Holding previous areas of resistance as support, it almost kind of looks good, but having the full history of this thing, seeing how long it's been around, and it's just done nothing for 2 cycles, like, it's sad. I don't expect much from this cycle. That's not a lot of volume. I don't know what this thing does. Maybe its time has finally come and it will do well, but it's going to do well without me, man. I hope it does it without you too, because I don't know if this is a good one to get into. Top to bottom, it looks good. I will say, for the time being, it looks like it wants to go up higher. Sure. But probably not much higher. You're at 36 cents essentially now. You might move up to about 49.6, if not 72 cents. That is decent gains, but probably see a pullback from here at some point. The fact that you're at previous areas of resistance, and you go back here and you can see that too. There's definitely good things, but with how resilient you've been to, I should say resistant you've been to grow in price, I'm not expecting much from this. If it wasn't for its very sad and boring history, I would actually be a little bit more bullish. But going off of what it's done, for like what its personality of this chart is, I'm expecting it to be lackluster. So let's just see. The 4-hour doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look good. The daily looks set up to be bad if it doesn't continue going upwards. And I think yesterday right there where you reached to go higher and you just couldn't after bouncing off this 50, that's not a good look. So you really could go lower from here. But don't be surprised, again, with that 886 bounce, don't be surprised if you do reach for 49 to 57.8 to 72 cents before going lower first. Normally, with this look on the fib, I'd be very certain that you're moving up here, but again, with the personality of this chart, with where you are in relative areas of resistance, I'm expecting you kind of go lower, actually. That's my expectation at the moment. So if you can close above this 100 level at about 37 cents, if you can close above that on a daily basis, then you're probably going higher. But if not, lower you go. That's my thoughts. All right, QRL. Let's talk about ICP now for Mr. John Speed. ICP having a pullback along with the rest of the market, yeah. Bearish divergence, yes. Probably already fulfilled, though. What you really have is an extremely lower low in comparison to all these lows here. And, you know, this low being here at this low being here higher than that low, but you've got a lower low here. That is hidden bullish divergence. Your weekly RSI, for what it's worth, looks pretty productive. If the week were to turn green, if you were to flip green right now, the pivot point is right here, right? This is where last week closed, was right here, like right in this area, right at your 60, the bullish area of control. If you can flip this week green, it would actually look like you're bouncing right off the 60, and that would be a really productive look in itself too. It's kind of signaling a bottom, so you would need to come up 6.33% in the next 5 days and 21 hours. Will you do that? That's a good question. Because at this moment in time, you actually kind of do look like you have a double top. I was calling for you to make higher highs, but you technically made higher highs, but I meant higher than that, that's for sure. At this point in time, you really could be moving down to about $8.34. You could. That makes sense for a few reasons. You've got your 382 here. After a strong move, finding support on the 382 is a very normal thing to do, and that was the original call before you started looking more bullish over the past month. But the past couple weeks have kind of given that back, haven't they? Beyond the 382, you've got previous areas of resistance here and kind of over here as well, so it really wouldn't be too crazy. I wonder if we get a relative fib here. Look at that. I mean, right at that. Obviously, it's right at that 100 level. You've got your 1618 being hit as resistance a couple times. Coming back to your 100 level wouldn't be crazy at all. Wouldn't be crazy at all. Let's look at the daily. Daily does look poised to go lower in the meantime, for sure. 4-hour looks poised for a bullish setup, actually, man. That's some bullish divergence you've got, but that's not like too extreme. This could be a bottoming area. It really could be. to see maybe off this low to this high here. Not really getting much from that. I'm curious to see what you do, man. Because it's not common to bounce here. Like normally when you're here, you would go oversold. It's happened before, and then ultimately you got oversold, right? Like any significant bounce that takes you into your overbought zone, look, right? It starts here, oversold, then you get overbought, right? Couple trials in the oversold zone first, but you know here, sure, you didn't get oversold, but it came from this over here. It was an all in all constructive move up to your overbought zone. Double bottom, so you didn't actually get oversold, but you got double bottom off that, and then you went up to your overbought zone. Here again, you know, before you went to your overbought zone, you got oversold. So the fact that you're, you know, on your shorter time frames, kind of looking decent, you might go up for a little bit today or tomorrow or something like that. But I would think you want to go lower, so I'm going to stand by that. And if you are going to go lower, you actually very well could see your 382. So the original call, now different from the most recent call I had, because I know I was calling for it to go higher, but it looks like crypto's having a little pullback. We're going back to the original call at about $8.34. I think ICP will pull down there over the coming weeks. It could be this week. It could be next week. It could be the week after. It might be sometime in April. Who knows? But I think you're going lower. I do. For now, this hidden bullish divergence that's presenting itself, it does kind of look nice, but man, you could go lower and still be fine. You could negate the hidden bullish divergence and still be fine. Hold that 382 level. And just because you go below this line does not mean it's the end of the world. In fact, it's almost expected. Going below the 382, slightly below it, I should say, slightly below it. On the first pass, it's a very normal thing to do. So don't panic if you do that. I very much would expect we go below $8.34, but we probably hold prices around there and close above there is my thoughts. So that's ICP. I hope that helps. Manta USD. All right. Elijah. Very new coin. I've probably done analysis on it before. I don't remember, but yeah, very, very new. All right. We're gonna do this. Tether, yeah. Looking like it wants to come down is what it's looking like. Low to high. I don't remember, man. I don't remember, but I feel like I have done analysis on this one, and I want to say that it looked like it was going to do this exact thing, like one of the first videos that I talked about this, but I don't remember. It might have been another one that kind of looked like this. I forget. I don't remember, but this kind of like slightly double high look right here, like that is a harbinger for devastation if it doesn't continue out of that. So seeing a rejection there is definitely not ideal. You do have higher lows at the moment. Your daily RSI does not look good to me. I think you want to go lower. I do think you want to go lower. Yeah, man. Honestly, I think you want to go lower than this low at this point in time. Let's see how this week closes. Let's see how the next couple days close. But at this point in time, I'm kind of expecting $1.83 to $1.47. Here you are at $2.73 at the moment. Yeah, looking not good, bro. Looking like you want to go lower. So good job. Buying opportunities will present themselves down here below $2, but probably around $1.47 to $1.83. That's where I think you're going. Absolutely, it won't be in a straight line. Even if it goes down like this at this trajectory, there will be days that pump and then days that dump, days that pump, days that dump, days that pump. You know, like it's not going to be a straight line. So don't get too psyched up on the pumps from here, and maybe don't be too eager. Not financial advice, but don't be too eager on buys. I would just be patient. Give this thing like a month, at least a couple weeks, and let's see how it does. Because I think you have lower prices to go. And again, it probably won't be a straight shot down there. You might do it at a steady pace like you're doing now, or you might fight and claw your way down. You might move down fast and then have a nice pump, and then kind of continue to work your way down, form a flat base with descending highs, and then break it, whatever. I don't know how it's going to look. All I'm saying is I think it will take a little more time than just 2 days. Give it at least 2 weeks, if not a month. and see where things are at, man. That's my best guess. But personally, again, one more time, I think it's going down to $1.47 to $1.83, somewhere in that range, before it has found its potential low here. That's my genuine opinion. Just with how it's looking now, if you hold support in this area and you have a nice reaction, something that takes you above 352, if you can, and not just get above there, but close a day above there from here, it'll be a different story. But for now, I'm a bit pessimistic on it. So that's Manta. ACH, talking about this one here. Yeah, a little bit of a pullback, sure. Let's see. Top to bottom, 2618, 2272, 3.3 cents. You probably pull back to 3.3 cents, yeah. You're so close to it already, man, and you look like you respected the hell out of this. Yeah, tipped your 786, tipped your 886 there. I want to look at something else real quick, too. Finding resistance at previous areas of resistance, it all makes sense, man. Yeah, 3 cents right at your golden ratio there. What I say before, 3.3 cents. Yeah, between 3 and 3.3, that's where I think you're going. And that's okay. You could bounce here today a little bit, but I doubt you break that high. I think you are going lower. 4 hour looks suggestive to the downside, but again, you could see a little bit of relief today, maybe even tomorrow. But I would expect it to be a lower high ultimately and then promote lower lows. That's my thoughts on Alchemy Pay. So yeah, 3 to 3.3 cents. You're at 3.5 cents now, so you're not too far away from that. But just a little bit more of a drop to go. You could drop more. It is possible, but let's look at those levels first and just see how you do. Zen, Horizon. It looks very similar. I feel like we're looking at the same chart, right? Like, look at that. It's it's very, very close. Still in your kind of accumulation range. Looking like you were trying to break out of it, but just didn't get it here. Nice rejection off of areas of resistance. It's not a bad thing. It's kind of to be expected, actually. Hit your 1414. Yeah, you could go a little bit lower. You could go, maybe you bounce here. Maybe you bounce at 1234. Maybe you go all the way back down to 1024. It's hard to say, but any and all of those numbers are acceptable. I wouldn't want to see you go below 1024. And truthfully, staying above 1151 or 1234 would be ideal, but you could go as low as 1024 and still be fine. Got to the overbought zone, rejected. The last time you saw that was here. And then from top to bottom, you moved down 50% from November to January. So over like 2 months' time, you moved down 50%. So could you do that now? It's possible. 50% from here would take you below the areas that I would want you to go. You still would have a higher low, so at least there's that. But maybe you don't see a 50% drop. Maybe you see from the high like a 45% drop, 42% drop, something like that. Let's see. That's not it. Come on now. Low to high. I mean, 985, 915. That is your golden ratio. I don't know. I might change it. I might say you could go as low as 985, 915 and be fine, but I would like to see you hold that $10.34 area or whatever it was. Nonetheless, I think you're going lower from here. I do. I'm pretty convinced that daily doesn't look too happy. That 4 hour doesn't look too happy. Again, maybe you find a little bounce in the meantime over the next day or so, but you're probably going lower. That's Zen, probably going lower. I wonder how HZen's doing, man. Nobody requested HZen. Hey, wow. Holding up well in comparison. That's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy for a grayscale trust, but hey, sometimes the crazy things happen. KSM, USD, Kusama. Are they all the same charts? Not really. Okay, that's a little bit different, to be fair. Bearish divergence playing out, looking like you want to go lower. Absolutely looking like you want to go lower. At least down to 42.24. You're at $44 now, so not too far away. Maybe $40.50, somewhere around there. You very well could find support there. That'd be right at the brim of your overbought or oversold zone and at your golden ratio. You really could find support there. So look for that. $40.50 to $42.2, somewhere in that range. If not, you're going lower than this low, probably. and that would take you as low as like $28 to $23. So hopefully you hold that area. I suppose you could hold your 786 or 886 as well, but I would at least like to see a bounce off this first. Looking at the 4-hour, kind of looking sad as well, but I wouldn't be surprised again if you saw, just like the last two, if you saw a little bit of relief today or tomorrow is what I would think. Weekly bearish divergence, yeah. You could go lower, man. You might go lower than 40. I don't know. Really, you got to hold 38.80. No, you can go below it. Just hold that area on a weekly closing basis. Hold 38.80. You can close a day below it, but don't close a week below it. If you close several days below it, that would be a little bit concerning. Like if 2 days or 3 days got closed below that level, I might be a little concerned that you'd go to $28 to $25. But for now, let's focus on that $38, $40 area, $42 area. You're really close right now, so let's just focus on that. Probably does go down. Maybe not today or tomorrow, but overall, I think you do have lower to go. Just a little bit, if not a lot more, but we'll see. We'll know. We'll have warning signs before that. Moros net right here on Poloniex. Okay, so we're not going to do that. Four months and 1 day. Moros net. It's an interesting little thing. Hide sidebar. It looks like I've talked about this one before. I don't remember when the last time I talked about it was, but you are definitely respecting the hell out of these fibs, man. Resistance on the 1272, came back down, found a little support around your 886 area, didn't even hit it actually. Up to your 1414, finding support on the 1272, finding resistance on the 1414. Bearish divergence, which may or may not have already played out. You know, I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. 4 hours not looking enticing in my opinion. I would think you want to go lower. Yeah. Probably back down to 0.0034. Maybe above it. You don't have to go all the way down here because you've kind of already found support in this area. So just a higher low is what I'm thinking, but probably down from here. Yeah, you probably do go to 0.0034 or 0.0062, somewhere in that range. It's a big range, but that's the range we got. So yeah, probably looking like it wants to go down from here. Same thing. I forget as I was saying. Maybe it was about ACH, but same thing as ACH, or maybe it was Manta. If you wait. More instead of like looking for a price, if you just wait like a week or two, you'll probably have better prices. Like instead of waiting specifically for a price, maybe wait for a date. Have your buy orders set. It never hurts to have your buy orders set, but I would wait. I would wait a little bit before getting in on this thing if I was to get in on it. Not financial advice. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you literally what I would do personally if I was looking to buy it. So I think it's going down. AKT. A cash network. Wait, what? Are they listed on Coinbase? Is this what this? You only see this when there's like a brand new listing normally. Like whenever it gives you that option, but it says not available. Did that just happen? Is that why they pumped? Because they're getting listed on Coinbase, huh? Good job. Decreasing volume, yeah. Of course, right? Coinbase is probably accumulating here, right, where the huge levels of volume are, and they're spending less and less as it gets more expensive. And now that it's at the tip top, they're releasing it to you to buy on Coinbase. Let's see. Hold on. AKT Coinbase listing. Three weeks ago. Okay. Or listing roadmap. Let's see. I want to look at this. Like, is it listed now, or I'm going to reject all? Everybody says accept all, but you can click reject, and they will still give you the same access, man. Let's see. Coinbase adds Akash to listing roadmap. That doesn't mean that it's being listed yet. 1 to 10 days, but some may be removed. So 1 to 10 days. This is back in February 26th. So it probably did get released recently. I don't know, but why can't I see the data? I don't know. Anyways, right around the top, it makes sense to me, man. Yeah, you've got a lot of downside to come, man. No more buying pressure from Coinbase or other exchanges that might look to list it, right? There's no more buying pressure. They're going to wait for the people to buy it on Coinbase. Coinbase sells it. There's no more buying pressure on the open markets, so it's just going to tank this thing probably. You could see it. You're at 550. You could see this thing genuinely pull back to $1.60 from here. You absolutely could. I did an average. It's been a long time, man, but I actually went through a bunch of different coins that I've invested in, coins that I've never heard of on Coinbase from the day they got listed to where they found their low. And the average, I want to say, if I remember correctly, it was something between like 45 to 65% of a drop. So a 65% drop from here would bring you down to here. You know, you could drop 75%. Maybe you only drop down to here, but it's probably not going to provide good price action for the time being. Probably find a higher low all in all, right? Maybe you do hold $2.74, but I would expect some kind of dramatic drop to happen over the next month or two. Like for the time being, you're not going to do well, man. Looking at the weekly RSI, besides just like the fundamental fact that you're listed on Coinbase, you are in somewhat of an uptrend in your weekly RSI. You've already hit the 90 on your weekly RSI, man, in this like upwards channel that you have, right? If you don't break it this time, you might have one more drive up in you, but then you break it the next time, and I don't see that happening, man. I really do think with the listing, with being at 90, I think on this interaction, you will break it, and that will cascade an event of prolonged selling off and consolidation, which will result in dramatically lower prices than you have now. This thing's been exciting week after week for a while. It's probably going to be boring for months now, like 2 to 4 months, maybe more months. 4 hour, looking sad, looking very sad. Yeah, the daily, looking good. The daily does look good, but it has the potential to not look good here. You know, we'll see. But it does look good for now. But there's not a whole lot going on, right? You're just consolidating. So once you break this kind of uptrend, and I will think you break it to the downside, relatively speaking, I mean, I suppose best case scenario, let's see, top to bottom, might look for a bounce at $3.85 to $3, somewhere around there, but something tells me you're going to go below that. That's just my opinion. Yeah, that's AKT. I spent too much time talking on it when I could have just said I think it's going down, guys. I think that's another one. I would wait, man. It just got listed on Coinbase. Wait till April's over, probably, before you try putting money into that thing. Unless it drops significantly in a very short, like if it happens in a day or two or a week or two, if it drops a lot, you see that kind of drop happen quick, then maybe get in. You know, not financial advice, but nothing wrong with getting in if it drops faster than expected, because with a fast drop, you're probably going to see some recoil. And sure, it might be boring for a time, but if AKT is something you're interested in, you know, maybe it does something like this over like a week or two. It just drops like really fast, but then it comes back up and then it consolidates, whatever. You'll be happy that you bought down here. Maybe it consolidates, it finds its highs or its next low, like on that kind of low area, and then you move up higher. I don't know, but I'm painting things that may or may not look like even close to that. So don't hold that too close to your heart. All I'm trying to say is if it drops fast, probably a good time to get in. Probably, right? Just like this. But if it drops slow, and that's kind of what I'm expecting, is it'll drop slow over the months to come, right? I would just be patient on that. So kind of just watch for that, I suppose, if you're looking to get in. It's probably not a good time to get in now. XTZ, Tezos. Again, none of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Absolutely not. I like crypto. I talk about crypto. I'm kind of like a crypto Jehovah's Witness, man. I go door to door, knocking on people's doors, talking about the good coin and the forthcoming of the bull market. Adam and Eve pattern, absolutely an Adam and Eve pattern. A lot of Tezos people have been saying Tezos till you Bezos. I think that's very clever. I think that's very catchy. And you probably will Tezos till you Bezos if you have enough money in this thing, man. It looks good. I like Adam and Eve patterns. I really do. You guys know I do. We point them out all the time on this channel. Very common patterns for sure. with the way it looks, man, I would think that you're getting ready to go higher. You kind of broke out, and now you're back testing for support. I wouldn't think you go too much lower. Sure, this week you're down 10% already, but I don't think you'll go much lower. If I can just get this, come on, man, right on the low there, right on the high here. Yeah, if you go lower from here, maybe you do go back to $1.06, but I have a feeling you'll actually find support like right around here probably. We'll go through the shorter time frames in a second, but I think you're working your way up to $1.88, $2.55, potentially all the way up to $4.52 or higher before like the reality of this move is over. You're probably just going to more or less move up, you know, much like you move down here. You have your little W. You're probably going to move up like that. So by the end of the year, I would expect you're above 450 probably. If not sooner than that. But let's look at the more immediate terms. Just see real quick. The daily does look sad. Normally, I would think that this would gear you to go lower and into the oversold zone. But to be fair, where you are now is an area you've bounced several times in the recent months. So maybe you do find support here. It is a higher low still. You are at previous areas of resistance, potentially confirming it as support. Let's see how you do. Because if you can hold this area, I think you're fine. But if you do go below, like really, you wouldn't need to go too much lower. Yeah, I don't know. More or less break that line, but more convincing. Don't just like do this. Maybe I can adjust this a little bit more. Maybe break that line. It's just not as tight as the other one was, but you're at $1.20. If you get below $1.15, then I would be concerned. But at this point in time, I kind of think you're going to find a low here and you're going to continue to move up higher. That's my genuine opinion. If not slightly lower, but yeah. Anyways, if you do go below $1.15, you could pull all the way back down to like 85 cents, $1, something like that, and it might be more sustained kind of accumulation down here before you really break out. But I'm under the impression that you will continue to move higher in a very short amount of time. The 4-hour does look a little bit bearish, but you are resistant. You're very resilient. You don't want to go into the oversold zone too much, do you? But you are maintaining prices below the 50, so that to me says bearish things. But for now, you probably do see a more or less immediate pump. Let's see how you react to that $1.30, $1.31 area. If you can break these higher or lower highs and start getting some higher highs, especially if you get above the green line there at about $1.38, that might be your low. That'd be pretty convincing that that'd be your low. But until we break these lower highs, form a higher low instead of getting lower lows. Until then, on a more relative time frame, a shorter term time frame, you really could go down to $1.15. But I would expect for now you hold this price and go higher, probably over the next day or two, or maybe that's it, man. Maybe that is the bottom, or the low, I should say. That's the bottom. This is a low, and then you continue on your merry way up to prices that are probably above $4 over the months to come. But that's XTZ. I like it, man. Tezos to you, Bezos. That's awesome. Wherever that came from, that's very clever, or silly, or both, man. But I like it. Polka starter. Polls. Hard to say. I don't like the daily. It does look like it wants to go lower. I would think you're going to go down to about 82 cents at least. But, I mean, looking at the weekly, you could be in some kind of formation that's like this. It's like a broadening top. So, I mean, you could come all the way down here, find support. Like, who knows how it looks, but you absolutely could go lower than 67 cents at this rate. You absolutely could. Let's put some lines here. I don't know. It looks pretty good, man. You're showing strength where it matters, that's for sure. But the daily RSI tells me you want to go lower. Oh, but look at you. If found support down in this area, went up to your 50 area, found resistance, came back down to this area, found support, and then found resistance again, but then higher low on your RSI and built prices. You could, I mean, maybe you don't go into your oversold zone. This one doesn't look like it needs to. I mean, maybe you do. I don't know. I would think, just especially with this rejection off of the 50, I would think that you will see the oversold zone. So that would make me think that you probably do return to prices back at about, let's say, 83 cents to 76.5 cents, somewhere in that area. That's my thoughts. Yeah. A little bit lower from here and then up. We can talk about some upside. Yeah, the 4 hour, it all looks like you want to go down. So that's pulls for the more immediate time frame. Yeah. And now CKB to finish this up. CKB, Nervous Network, the nervous system. On a weekly basis on Binance here. Nice accumulation phase. Broke out, had a hell of a time. You might be consolidating now, man, for months. Like, genuinely, it might happen for months. This reminds me a lot of BCH's chart, right? Just remember this, okay? Remember this accumulation phase, and you popped up. It does not have to perform the same, and in fact, I wouldn't think it does because this was a very prolonged amount of time for BCH, but accumulation phase, broke up. You consolidated for months, dude, like half a year, over half a year, I think, actually. Let's see. 245 days you consolidated. So yeah, like 2/3 of a year. Just to be fair, right? To also be fair, you found your low in that time. You found your low in about a month and a half. So, or you know, at least like almost 2 months, something like that. So I do think taking that same kind of look into consideration. If I can find it right here, yeah. I do think you might be in a phase of consolidation for at least a month or two, if not 3 or 4 or more. Relative high to low, 2272 hit, beautiful. You could find support at 1.32 cents. That kind of looks fine to me. It is a previous little checkpoint here, and it's your 1618. You could go all the way down to your 1272 at about 0.00926, and it is completely possible, man. You could go all the way back down to 0.007, and you're at 1.65 cents now, so that would be a hefty drop in itself, but it would probably take time. It probably wouldn't happen in a short amount of time. If it does take place in a short amount of time, great. You know, you could drop that low and then see a nice recovery, but it probably takes its time working its way down. Who knows how it looks, but lower is what I'm thinking. At least to 1.32 cents, if not 1 cent, if not just below 1 cent, maybe even all the way back down to 0.007 cents. Weekly RSI was overbought. Now it's looking like you're not going to be. Looking at the daily looks like it wants to go lower. 4 hour looks like you might see a little bit of relief over the next day, potentially. I wouldn't hold on to this too much, though, right? You've got higher highs with lower highs in a downtrend. That's not a good thing. So if and when you see some relief here, I would not expect to get a higher high. That's my genuine opinion. So maybe you do bounce to like 1.868 cents or lower, maybe a little bit higher, but I doubt you get above these highs. And inevitably will, at least you're going to work down to 1.32 cents, man. But probably lower than that even. But you really could hold support right in this area. So look for that first. Down nonetheless. And that's it, man. That's all I got for you guys. So if you like the video, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more. I don't know, man. WTK, Daniel Bandini, also a great name. I would say you're the winner, man. WTK to me is the one that looks like it wants to continue moving higher in the shortest amount of time. It's the one that I'm more confident in. If I had to say, yeah. Some of these guys look like they're just getting started. They're probably going to be boring for months, and that's like we've seen a dramatically wonderful run over the past months, like since October. It's been phenomenal, but nothing moves up in a straight line forever. you're going to see repercussions. You're going to see selling off. People are going to take profits. Late buyers are going to panic sell. Even early buyers are going to panic sell if stuff like that happens. If you are holding this for the long term, if you're holding any of these cryptos for the long term, this is not financial advice. But if they've done well over the past, like since October, like the past several months, okay, just because they sell off now for a month or two or 3 or 4 does not mean that it's over for them. There's still a whole bull cycle to go. We're still pre-halving right now, right? So don't get shaken out. Don't get scared. Remember why you bought these coins to begin with. There's nothing wrong with taking profits, but there is something wrong with panic selling. And just because the price is going down does not mean that that's where the price will be going forever, right? We still have a whole cycle to go ahead of us. We will be at prices well beyond where most of these coins have relatively topped out, okay? So don't let the immediate selling off scare you. It is scary. It's okay to feel it. Just don't let it affect your actions, okay? Right? People try to say, and I this is where I try to like be real with this like emotion, is like it's okay to feel fear. It's okay to feel that like you made a mistake. What if I could have sold it up here? Damn it, I knew it was going to do this. But man, you will forget all about that when the prices go up higher, because let's say you sold up here. Let's just say you nailed it perfectly. And then you think it's going to go down here, and you're like, I'm going to buy down here. I think that's, and I don't know, I'm just drawing random circles. But then it goes here, forms a lower high, and you're like, okay, now it's going to come down. Then it forms a higher low, and you're like, or a double bottom, and you're like, well, I'm still going to wait for that. And then it goes back up here, and you're like, okay, I'll just wait for one more pullback, and then I'll just buy there, higher than I meant to. But that pullback never comes, and now you're above where you bought before, and now you're like, damn. Why didn't I just hold? I should like yes, it's easy to feel like on the way down. The whole reason I'm saying that, it's easy to feel on the way down like I could have sold. I knew it was going down. But it's like you never really know when you're gonna. You're depending. If you're selling up here and you're going to play the game, you're counting on buying at lower prices. So don't forget to do that. You know, with stuff like this, if you want to play the game, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but it's better to just get in. If you sold a relative high point, you don't need to catch the absolute bottom. You can buy wherever, man. You could buy here, you could buy here, you could buy right up here. You're still adding to your overall pot, and if you're patient, it's going to pay off more than it ever was. So, but I wouldn't play the game. I really wouldn't recommend that. I would just recommend sitting on your hands, doing nothing, adding more to it as it comes down, looking for other things to put your money into. If certain coins look like they're going to be boring over the coming months, just look for other things that might not be boring over the coming months. But a lot of people are talking about meme coins, man. It seems to be the discussion, the topic over the past month. So I would just say, out of principle, probably stay away from meme coins, guys. It's not the time. If you find yourself trying to roll the dice and just make mad money on some meme coins, and you're throwing some last-ditch efforts out there, if that's you, please stop. Just stop. Just sit on your hands. Be patient, guys. Opportunities are going to present themselves over the coming months. Not financial advice, genuinely just my opinion, but I would stay away from meme coins right now, you guys. I would stay away from them, very much so. That's my genuine opinion. So everybody's talking about them now, and it's like we're talking about meme coins. Meme coins, they're literally not supposed to do anything but tickle your fancy. You're gonna bet your life savings or money that matters to you on stuff like that, where you could just wait for things that, who knows if CKB is legit or any of these coins that I talked about are legit, but coins that might be more legit than just a meme coin, you could wait for them to come back, present an opportunity, and buy in there. You know, think about the long game. The quickest way to lose money is to think about the short game. The quickest way to make money is to think about the long game. Just think about the long game. And that's all I got, guys. I went on a little bit of a rant there, but I hope you liked the video. Daniel Bandini, you are the winner for tonight with WTK. Good job. He had a little bit of an edge. He requested 2 of them. So, but that's what it is, guys. You get 2 requests per person per day. If you want to leave a request, leave it in the comment section on YouTube, or join the Discord. You know, I'll leave a link for the description in the description for the Discord. And that's all I got for you guys. Take care. Drink some water. Stay safe. Get ready to buy some cryptos, guys. It's going to be we're in buy the dip territory. We definitely are. Just might, for a lot of these, it might go lower still. You never know. But take care. Bye-bye.